Hello everyone, I hope you are all healthy. John Dixon here with a second installment of John's Jokes. I hope you are enjoying these. Today's installment is brought to you by a much younger version of myself and my favorite social distancing tool. I hope you can see these. Today's jokes are especially dedicated to Tuesday's happy chefs and Thursday's poker players. First joke. A recently married couple were having dinner at a fancy restaurant. When the food was served, the husband said, "The food looks delicious, let's eat." The wife said, "Honey, you always say a prayer before eating at home. Won't you do that here?" The husband replies, "That's at home, sweetheart. Here, the chef knows how to cook." Ta-da! This is my next joke. Two confirmed bachelors sat talking. Their conversation drifted from politics to cooking. "I got a cookbook once," said the first bachelor, "but I could never do anything with it." "Too much fancy cooking in it, eh?" said the second bachelor. "You said it. Every one of the recipes began the same way. Take a clean dish." Ta-da! And my next one. While I was working at a cafe in Sydney, Australia, a woman overheard my accent, obviously wasn't me, and asked if I was Canadian. "Lovely," she explained when I told her that I was. She continued, "I've been looking for one of your lot for a while. My son is living in Ontario with his Canadian wife, and she sent me a recipe that calls for half and half. Could you tell me, love? Half of what and half of what?" Ta-da! Now for some poker jokes. A rabbi, a minister, and a priest are playing poker when the police raid the game. Addressing the priest, the lead officer asks, "Father Murphy, were you gambling?" Turning his eyes to heaven, the priest whispers, "Lord, forgive me for what I'm about to do." He turns to the police officer and says, "No, officer, I was not gambling." The officer then asks the minister, "Pastor Johnson, were you gambling?" Again, after an appeal to heaven, the minister replies, "No, officer, I was not gambling." So then he turns to the rabbi, and the officer asks, "Rabbi Goldstein, were you gambling?" Shrugging his shoulders, the rabbi says, "With whom?" Ta-da! Okay, so there's a traveling salesman who loves to play poker. Every town he visits, he manages to find a game. One night he's led to the back of a saloon, and seated among the locals is a German Shepherd. The guy is surprised to see a dog at the poker table, but the dog appears to be very well behaved, so the salesman sits down to play. Well, after an hour or so, the dog and the salesman are in a showdown. The dog raises back, the salesman raises again, and the dog calls. The salesman shows his hand, 3 queens. The dog turns over his hand, a flush. The salesman is so impressed he isn't even mad that he lost the hand. "You know," he says to one of the locals, "not only can that dog play, but he's pretty good." "Yeah," says the local, "he plays okay, but we usually beat him." "Is that right?" says the salesman. "Yeah," says the local. "Whenever he has a good hand, he wags his tail." The next joke is in memory of a patient, one of whose favorite poker games was Fiery Cross, and who liked on occasion to yank my chain. The poker group will know who I am talking about, as the joke involves a move he was always very reluctant to make. And the joke. Apparently, origami enthusiasts are bad at poker. They are always folding. And after that one, I will sign out.